In today's fast-paced, tech-driven world, it's easy to assume that modern means better. But what if some of the smartest, most efficient gardening techniques were buried in the past? In the 1800s, people didn't have the smartest irrigation systems, synthetic fertilizers, or shelves full of garden gadgets. Yet, they managed to grow enough food to feed large families year after year. These weren't just hacks. They were hard-earned techniques passed down through generations. And, believe it or not, many of them still outperform today's store-bought solutions. In this video, we're unearthing 10 forgotten gardening methods from the 1800s that are not only brilliant, but surprisingly simple to try at home. Some save water, others build healthier soil. A few might even change the way you garden forever. Number 1. The clay pot watering system, Oyas. In hot, dry climates, keeping crops hydrated was a matter of survival. That's where the Oya came in. An unglazed clay pot buried near the roots of a plant with only the neck above ground. Gardeners filled it with water, and over time, moisture slowly seeped through the porous walls of the pot, delivering hydration directly to the roots. No runoff, no evaporation, no wasted water. Oyas encouraged deeper root system, produced healthier plants, and reduced watering frequency by 70%. While its technique largely disappeared with the rise of hose irrigation, it's now being revived by off-grid gardeners and homesteaders for its low maintenance and incredible efficiency. You can now recreate it easily with a terracotta pot sealed at the bottom and placed between rows of plants. Number 2. The Three Sisters Planting Method. Long before the settlers arrived, Native American tribes had already mastered one of the most effective planting techniques in history, known as the Three Sisters. This method used 3 crops, corn, beans, and squash, planted together in one mound. Each plant had a job. Corn grew tall and strong, creating a natural pole for beans to climb. Beans added nitrogen to the soil, feeding both the corn and the squash. Squash spread out wide, shading the ground to prevent weeds and retain moisture. It was a perfectly balanced and symbiotic relationship. No fertilizer, no trellises, no weed killers needed. 1800 settlers quickly adopted this method when they saw how well it worked. And today, it's making a quiet comeback in permaculture circles for its zero-waste, soil-building magic. Even a small garden plot can benefit from this method. Number 3. Natural pest control with herbs. In the days before chemical sprayers and bug zappers, gardeners protected their crops using scent, placement, and companion planting. Marigolds lined the garden beds to repel nematodes and aphids. Garlic and chives were planted near roses and tomatoes to keep pests away. Basil boosted tomato growth while deterring mosquitoes and flies. Even mint, when contained, helped mask the scent of nearby vegetables, confusing insects looking for easy meals. These herbal guardians were grown not just for cooking, but for survival. Today's store-bought pesticides may kill bugs, but they also harm pollinators and deplete your soil. The 1800s method was slower, but smarter. Number 4. Eggshells, wood ash, and soil health. Fertilizer didn't come in plastic jugs back then. It came from hearth and the kitchen. Crushing eggshells were added to tomato beds for calcium. Wood ash from fireplaces was rich in potassium and used to raise soil pH. Even coffee grounds, banana peels, and onion skins were chopped up and worked into compost. Nothing was wasted. The idea was simple. Feed the soil, and the soil feeds you. Rather than depending on synthetic, quick-fix fertilizers, gardeners took a long-term approach. And it worked year after year without disrupting the natural microbial life underground. Number 5. Windbreak hedges. In wide-open prairie landscapes, wind could be a gardener's worst enemy. To fight back, settlers planted hedgerows, dense lines of shrub, sunflowers, or even fruit trees to protect their gardens from strong gusts. These natural windbreaks did more than block wind. They created microclimates, prevented soil erosion, attracted beneficial insects, and often produced food themselves. Today, most yards are fenced with plastic or wood, but a living windbreak is both prettier and more productive. Number 6. Root cellars and underground storage. Without refrigeration, keeping food fresh meant working with the earth. Enter the root cellar, a naturally cool, humid underground space where potatoes, carrots, onions, and apples could be stored for months. Family used barrels, pits, or even hillside caves insulated with straw. Temperatures stayed stable, pests stayed out, and nothing spoiled. Some cellars even had separate shelves for canned goods, pickled items, and fermentation crocks. Today, building a small root cellar, even a buried cooler with straw, can save money and reduce food waste dramatically. Number 7. Fish emulsion and compost tea. Need a nitrogen boost? In the 1800s, gardeners had a pungent solution. They'd toss fish scraps, comfrey, and nettles into a barrel of water and let it steep and rot. After a few weeks, the resulting sludge was strained into a powerful liquid fertilizer. The smell was intense, but the growth it triggered was worth it. Tomatoes doubled in size, leaves turned deep green. This was the original Miracle Grow cheap, natural, and nutrient-rich solution. And it's making a comeback among organic growers today. Number 8. Homemade mulch. Mulch didn't come in dyed bags back then. It came from whatever you had. Straw, sawdust, pine needles, shredded newspaper, even old carpet. Anything that blocked sunlight and retained moisture was fair game. It wasn't pretty, but it was practical. The result? Fewer weeds, less watering, and healthier plants. Today, we're conditioned to think of mulch as decorative, but in the 1800s, it was a survival strategy, and it worked beautifully. Number 9. Seed saving for future generations. Every harvest ended with gratitude and seed saving. Gardeners dried seed on cloth or newspaper, labeled them carefully, and stored them in envelopes, tins, or mason jars. These seeds weren't just generic. Each was tailored to that specific garden's climate, pests, and soil. Over time, families built up their own resilient seed stock. This was sustainability before the term even existed. It's a practice modern gardeners should bring back, not just to save money, but to preserve food security. Number 10. Trading and sharing the harvest. When gardeners overflowed in the late summer, nothing was thrown out. Neighbors would trade baskets of cucumber for fresh eggs. Tomatoes were dropped off on porches. Zucchinis exchanged for soap and bread. Gardening wasn't just about food. It was about community. Today, we post harvest photos online. Back then, they fed neighborhoods. Maybe it's time we brought back that spirit of abundance. These forgotten methods aren't just about nostalgia, they're about resilience. The gardeners of the 1800s faced droughts, pests, poor soil, and uncertainty. Yet they made it work. With no plastic, no chemicals, no apps, just observation, patience, and wisdom passed down hand to hand. In a time where sustainability is a buzzword, maybe the real solution is already behind us. Maybe the future of gardening is actually in the past. If you found inspiration in these forgotten gardening traditions, hit that like button and subscribe for more old world wisdom. We explore vintage tools, survival skills, and practical ways to live simply, just like our great-grandparents did. Try one of these methods in your garden this week and let us know how it goes in the comments.